Okay, Shalom. We're going to look at, as always, Colossians 3:17. And whatsoever you do in word or deed, do all by Hashem Mashiach Yahushai. Give you thanks to the Most High and the Father by Hashem Mashiach Yahushai. So all that we say and do is going to be in the name of the Lord and Savior, Mashiach Yahushai. And we give all praise and glory to his holy name. For these words are to be praised for everything. All glory and honor to his holy name. Most High power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And Jacob being the forefather of the 12 tribes of Israel. So we're going to look at tonight, Matthew 25th chapter. I think I've done it verbatim for what it says as the Mashiach is telling us about the kingdom of heaven. But I want to deal with spiritually also tonight. So we're going to look at Matthew the 25th chapter concerning 10 virgins. It says, then shall the kingdom of heaven be likened unto 10 virgins. Keep that in mind. So it was 10 virgins, which took their lamps and went forth to meet the bridegroom. So this is 10 virgins meeting the bridegroom, which is a man that would be their husband. Bridegroom means the husband. And 5 of them were wise, and 5 were foolish. 5 were wise, and 5 was foolish. They that were foolish took their lamps and took no oil with them. You got an oil to put in a lamp. Like I have a, matter of fact, perfect. I got an oil lamp right here. How about that? I have an oil lamp right here. So, but you have all of it to make it be properly working right. So it'll light up the room, right? So, but the wise, verse 4, but the wise took oil in their vessels with their lamps. See, they had extra oil in their vessels with their lamps. Like you see the oil, it goes on the bottom of the lamp. See? So, verse 5. While the bridegroom, who's the husband, tarried, they all slumbered and slept. They all went to sleep and slept. And at midnight, there was a cry made. Remember what we're talking about. Verse 1. Then shall the kingdom of heaven be likened. So verse 6. And at midnight, there was a cry made. Behold, the bridegroom cometh. The husband is coming. Go ye out to meet him. Go ye out to meet him. Then all those virgins arose, 10 virgins, and trimmed their lamps. They trimmed their lamps. Because it's night. It's midnight. It's dark. Trimmed their lamps. And the foolish said unto the wise, give us of your oil, for our lamps are gone out. Give us of your oil, because our lamps gone out. But the wise answered. Remember, the foolish didn't bring enough oil. But the wise answered. They said, give me some of your oil. Foolish asked the wise. But the wise answered, verse 9, saying, not so, not even so, lest there be not enough for us and you. So I can't give you mine, unless it won't be enough oil for me and you at the same time. But go ye rather to them that sell, and buy for yourselves. Say, go to them that sell, and buy some oil for yourself. Since you ain't have enough wisdom to make sure you had enough oil, knowing that you're going to need extra. Now, we know they got extra, so we're going to get some of theirs. That's how people think, too. But we're going to continue on. And while they went to buy, so they left to go buy some oil that they should have had already. And while they went to buy, the bridegroom, the husband, came. The bridegroom was the husband. The husband came. And they that were ready went in with him to the marriage, and the door was shut. See? And while they went to buy, when they went to buy the oil, the bridegroom came. The husband came. And they that were ready, went in with him to the marriage, and the door was shut. So that's what we used to have in our culture. It was a wedding chamber, it was called. We would have where the bride would go in with the man, generally with a chastity cloth, because these are virgins. And what we call a reception today, it was called a wedding chamber. And she would go in and with her chastity, well, it's like a cloth, and everybody would be outside, like it says. You went to the chamber and the door was shut, right? So everybody would be outside, like we would call a reception today. And the man and the woman would go into this wedding chamber and they would have sexual intercourse. And she would come out and she would give the cloth to her father. And they would be married. They would have, party and having a good time, like we call the reception today. Nothing new under the sun. It's just kind of changed around, and they would be married. So that's what happened when the five went to buy oil. The bridegroom, who was the husband, came, and the 5 virgins went in with him to the wedding chamber. That's why I say Mashiach Shai wouldn't tell us something that's an abomination. He wouldn't tell us that. So like I said, continuing, afterward, verse 11, came also the other virgins. Other virgins came, saying, Mashiach, Mashiach, Master, Master, open to us. Open to us. But he answered and said, Verily, I say unto you, truly I say unto you, I know you not. He said, I don't know you. Watch therefore, for ye know neither the day nor the hour wherein the Son of Man cometh. See? So, that's very important that we see this, because a lot of people will read that and really not really understand what he's saying. But it's self-explanatory. Unless you in denial. And that's what Mashiach Shai telling the story about 5 virgins going into the wedding chamber with the husband. 5 virgins going into the wedding chamber. That's why I say the door was shut. Because that was our custom. Look at 2nd Ezra 10, Well, let's read 9, just to give you an example of what I'm saying, pertaining to the wedding chamber that he's talking about. Because the same thing happened to our forefather Jacob. He thought he was getting Rachel, but Laban, his uncle, gave him Leah, the oldest daughter. They went to the wedding chamber, said the door is dark, and he lay with Leah, Leah's oldest daughter. But he wanted her sister, Rachel. But look here. Go to 2 Ezra 9. Let's read a story on this. Let's read verse 43. Because this is, like I say, this is spiritual understanding that the Most High has given Ezra beyond what it is as we're going to read here in words. It says in verse 43, 2 Ezra 9:43. She said unto me, because he asked her, what's wrong with you? Why are you so sad? 2 Ezra 9:43. She said unto me, I, thy servant, have been barren, meaning she didn't have any children, and had no child. Though I had an husband 30 years, I never had a husband. And those 30 years, I did nothing else day and night, and every hour, but make my prayer to the highest, praying to the Most High continually. After 30 years, the Most High heard me, thine handmaid. After 30 years, the Most High heard. After 30 years, that's a long time to be desiring a child and remain barren. After 30 years, the Most High heard me, thine handmaid, looked upon my misery, 30 years of misery, considered my trouble, and gave me a son. And I was very glad of him. So was my husband. After 30 years, I imagine they were very happy. Also, and all my neighbors, and we gave great honor unto the Almighty, gave great honor to the Most High power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And I nourished him with great travail. So when he grew up and came to the time that he should have a wife, I made a feast. See, it's like I was telling you. The feast is like what we call, keep in your mind, like a reception. Right? She made a feast. Invited everybody to this feast. Listen at this though. 2 Ezra 10:1. And it came to pass that when my son was entered into his wedding chamber, just like Amashak Shai said, that in verse 10, and while he went to buy, in Matthew 25:10, and while they went to buy, the foolish didn't have any oil. When they went to buy some oil, the bridegroom or the husband came, and they that were ready, the 5 virgins, went in with him to the marriage. Listen, and the door was shut, right? This is my second shot given the understanding. So now it says in 2 Ezra 9:47, for an example of our customs. So when he grew up and came to the time that he should have a wife, I made a feast, like I said, like a reception. Everybody's there. She made a feast, invited everybody. 2 Ezra 10:1. And it came to pass that when my son was entered into his wedding chamber, the same thing that Amashak Shai is giving analysis of, the husband and 5 virgins, 5 women that were virgins, went into the marriage and the door was shut. See? So here it says in 2 Ezra 10:1, and it so came to pass that when my son was entered into his wedding chamber, he fell down and died. Because he would go into the wedding chamber, and like I said, him and his wife would have sexual intercourse, and that would consummate the marriage, and she would bring the cloth to her father, and if anything went down where he disrespected her or tried to say that he found some uncleanness in her or she wasn't a virgin, and the father could take that cloth with her blood on it to the judges, and inquisition will be made as necessary. You know, it's called the law of jealousy. So now let's deal with it. That just show you Amashak Shai saying 5 virgins went into the wedding chamber with a husband. They say husbands, they said husband. The bridegroom is one man. And it tells you in Isaiah 4:1. Remember, he didn't have nothing but the law and the prophets anyway when he walked the earth. There was no New Testament. It was only the law and the prophets. But Isaiah 4:1 said, in that day, 7 women, not 5, but 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread, to eat their own food, according to the dietary law, and wear our own apparel. They're going to wear the Israelite culture dress. Only let us be called by thy name. You know, a woman is called by man's last name, even in this day. Why? To take away our reproach. To take away our reproach. So, I asked the question. I haven't got an answer yet. But I have asked the question many times. Because brothers say this is the kingdom. In the kingdom, are women going to be disgraced? You mean you already disgraced in this kingdoms? And you go to the kingdom and be disgraced again? No. So, and this don't apply to everyone. Understand this too. But you got to accept it. Mashiach Shai just gave the example right there. So now, I want to, and number 7 is the number of completion. You know. So now I want to deal with this spiritually, if I can. If you allow me to. Let's look at it. Go to Matthew 25 and 1. Then shall the kingdom of heaven be likened unto 10 virgins. 10 virgins, which took their lamps and went forth to meet the bridegroom, right? So let's look first at let's see, let's have a lot here. 2 Corinthians 11 and 2. Second Corinthians 11 and 2. He said, for I am jealous over you with righteous jealousy, for I have espoused you to one husband. Say, one husband, that I may present you as a chaste virgin to a Mashiach Yahweh Shai. You see? Most I say he's jealous over us. So much he loves us, the children of Israel, with righteous jealousy though. For I have espoused you to one husband, that I may present you as a chaste virgin to Hamashiach Yahweh Shai. Like I said, we're dealing with it spiritually. But I say that Hamashiach Yahweh Shai would not tell us something that would cause us to sin in any parable or any statements that he's saying to us as the word of the Most High. Understand this, overstand this. Look at 2 Corinthians 5 and 17. Therefore, if any man be in Mashiach, he is a new creature. Old things are passed away. Behold, all things are become new. You become new. You see? So, and we like this Chase version that he's saying. Don't get it twisted, because when you look at it's symbolic. Like I say, we're dealing with it spiritually. So when you go to Jeremiah 6 and 2, pertaining to we the 12 tribes of Israel, it says, I have likened the daughter of Zion to a comely and delicate woman. You see? A comely, a beautiful and delicate woman. And Zion represents the 12 tribes of Israel. All day and all night. So, that's why we have to really look at this and be conscious of what the Bible is saying, and we can understand through the precepts. You know, where we can look at this and say, okay, well, okay. Sometimes we look at Zion can represent the land, and Zion can represent the people that's in the land. Because a lot of times, you know, I've showed you how sometimes the Most High said, go speak to the land. But you can speak to dirt all you want to. You can speak to grass all you want to. Trees and whatever else that grows, flowers and all that, all you want to. What you gonna get out of that? It's the people that's on the land. You see? It's the people that's on the land. And it's like, you know, it could be the way that they communicated at another time. Like we communicate now, a certain way. That's not the same way as we see the word is. We have our own ways of communicating. And that's how the Bible is. You know, it's a means for us to be able to look back into our past and realize, oh, okay, that's what this means, and that's what this means. We studying all the time to show ourselves approved to the Most High. So look at Isaiah 51 and 16. And I have put my words in thy mouth. Isaiah 51 and 16. And I have covered thee in the shadow of mine hand, that I may plant the heavens and lay the foundations of the earth, and say unto Zion, just proving that this Zion represents the 12 tribes of Israel, thou art my people, right? So when you go to Exodus 3 and 10, my people, who's the Most High's people? Exodus 3 and 10. It says, come now, therefore, and I will send thee unto Pharaoh, that thou mayest bring forth my people, who? The children of Israel, out of Egypt. Because all 12 tribes were in Egyptian captivity. So we see that Zion represent the 12 tribes of Israel. Okay? So now, let's look at Colossians 1 and 9. Colossians 1 and 9. Colossians 1 and 9. For this cause we also, since the day we heard it, do not cease to pray for you, and desire that ye might be filled with the knowledge of his will in all wisdom and spiritual understanding. So we got to be filled with all wisdom and spiritual understanding. That's why we're going through this with spiritual understanding for what he's saying concerning the kingdom of heaven. From Matthew 25, 1 down. This is verse 10. That ye might walk worthy of the Most High, while my shake say, unto all pleasing, being fruitful in every good work, and increasing in the knowledge of the Most High. So we got to be fruitful in every good work, keeping the law, statutes, commandments of the Most High, doing what he say do, keeping his program moving, and increasing in the knowledge of the Most High. Increasing, not decreasing, but increase. All we're going to increase is to follow what he said in 2 Timothy 2:15. 2 Timothy 2:15. Says, study to show thyself approved unto the Most High, a workman that needeth not to be ashamed. I mean, you working. This ain't something that's just going to come to you unless you study it. Study to show thyself approved unto the Most High, a workman that needeth not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth. See? Precept upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little, and there a little. This is how you get to understanding. Let's look at Jeremiah 3:14. So you got to know how to study. You got to know what to study. And you've been taught, write scripture down and what's being said with the scripture. And you just go over it yourself. And you look around, you be able to bring out more precepts than what you've been given. If you're in the spirit, to understand how it's done, and how if the Most High is working with you. Listen, Jeremiah 3:14 said, turn, O backsliding children, the Most High said. Said the Most High, for I am married unto you. You see? I am married unto you. Remember, it's the bridegroom and 10 virgins. He said, for I am married unto you, and I will take you one of a city, and two of a family, and I will bring you to Zion. Now Zion is a place, the land of Zion, you see? So, and he said, I will give you pastors according to mine heart. You say, I'll give you pastors according to his mind, which shall do what? Which shall feed you with knowledge and understanding. This is very important, because he gives you pastors according to his mind. The only way we're going to know the mind of the Most High is through this Bible. That's why he said Proverbs 4:7. Proverbs 4:7. Proverbs 4:7. Wisdom is the principal thing, and wisdom is the proper application of knowledge. But wisdom is the principal thing, therefore get wisdom. Get wisdom, and with all thy getting, get understanding. Get understanding, y'all. A lot of people have wisdom, but they don't have understanding. You can memorize a lot of things, but like I say, what's important is how you memorize this spiritually. I can't say it enough. How you memorize this spiritually is so very important, brothers and sisters. From there, let's look at Revelations 14:1. Because you had these virgins and you had a husband, right? And we know the Most High, he was married to us. He gave us to a Mashiach Yahushua. He said, I'm going to my place till we acknowledge our offense, how we offended him, and seek his face. In our affliction, he said, we're going to seek him early. So look at Revelation 14:1. It says, And I looked, and lo, a lamb stood on the Mount Zion. The lamb is the Mashiach Bashai, stood on the Mount Zion, and with him 144,000, having his father's name written in their forehead, knowing the Most High's name, the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob in their foreheads. Can't go wrong with that. Most High say, the power of Abraham, who had a son named Isaac, who had a son named Jacob, who became the forefather of the 12 tribes of Israel. Be the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, okay? Written in their foreheads. And I heard a voice from heaven, as the voice of many waters, and as the voice of a great thunder, and I heard the voice of harpers harping with their harps, music playing. That's the instrument that the Most High love. He loved the harp or the piano. And they sung as it were a new song before the throne and before the four beasts, who are the four angels, four archangels, Michael, Uriel, Gabriel, and Raphael. And the elders, 24 elders, 12 to guard the day, 12 over the night. And no man could learn that song but the 144,000, which were redeemed from the earth. 144,000, 12,000 from each of the tribes of Israel. And it defines them and lets you know who they are in Revelation 7 and 4 down. 4 to 8, okay? It says, but this is key here, verse 4. These are they which were not defiled with women, for they are virgins. See, they are virgins. These are they which follow the Lamb whithersoever he goeth. So they hear Mashiach Bashai's voice. So they follow him wherever he goes, as he's the chief shepherd, our high priest that's leading the 144,000. That's hearing his voice. Wherever he goeth, following him wherever he goeth. These were redeemed from among men, being the first fruits unto the Most High and to the Lamb of Mashiach Yahushai. Okay? So I'm here because it says, for they are virgins, right? Meaning they have not been corrupted, first and foremost, by women, right? So now, you got to look at, we already showed you through the Spirit in Jeremiah 6 and 2, Most High is likened the daughter of Zion, who are the 12 tribes of Israel, to a comely, a beautiful, and delicate woman, right? So now, when we look at it spiritually too, go to Isaiah. Have not been what? Defiled with women. So now, y'all better ask somebody. And I just turned the page and we'll go right to where I need to go. That's the Most High, hallelujah. Isaiah 47. Whoa, man, that's hallelujah, Most High. Look. Look at Isaiah 47 and, well, we can read verse 1. Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon, right? Sit on the ground. That means you're going to be at a low estate. There's no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans. For thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate, right? Tender and delicate. So let's look at this virgin daughter of Babylon. Who is this? Go to Psalms 137. The 137th Psalm. And let's see who this virgin daughter is, of Babylon is. Psalms 137. And we're going to look at verse 7. Remember, O Most High, children of Edom, in the day of Jerusalem, who said, raise it, even to the foundation thereof. So now, what did they do? They said, raise it. Edom represent the biblical name for the Edomite nation, the so-called Caucasian, indigenous, I might say aboriginal, Caucasian, the one he's talking about. But let's look at what they did. They said, raise it even to the foundation thereof. We prove who this virgin daughter of Babylon is. So it says, and virgin is a woman, right? So look, this is what they did. 1 Ezra 4 and 45. Thou also hast vowed to build up the temple which the Edomites, the so-called white men, burned when Judea was made desolate by the Chaldeans. See? Who are the Babylonians, Ethiopians, Babylonians, same people. So now, going back to Psalms 137 and 7 again, it said, remember, O Most High, the children of Edom in the day of Jerusalem, who said, raise it, even to the foundation thereof. So David, who was a prophet, prophesying about what would happen when we being going into captivity under the Babylonians, and we was under captivity with them for 70 years. So who does he call Edom? Verse 8, O daughter of Babylon, see? O daughter of Babylon, who are to be destroyed. Daughter of Babylon, daughter is a female, a woman, a female. O daughter of Babylon, just like he identified us as a female. Beautiful nation of the 12 tribes of Israel, as a comely and delicate woman in Jeremiah 6:2. So now, remember, the 144,000 are not defiled with what? Women. So it says, O daughter of Babylon, who are who? The children of Edom. O daughter of Babylon, verse 8, who are to be destroyed, happy shall it be that rewarded thee as thou hast served us. Right? So we just hear this prove that the virgin daughter of Babylon, are the Edomites. Going back to Isaiah 47. So now, when it says, verse 1, come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon, right? So now, jump up to verse 7. Well, let's read verse 5. It says, sit thou silent and get thee in the darkness. Darkness means ignorance, not knowing, but the truth. And when you read Wisdom of Solomon 5 and 7, when salvation is coming to the 12 tribes of Israel, they're going to say, we rid ourselves in the way of wickedness and destruction. We have gone through deserts where there lay no way. But as for the way of the Most High and Mashiach Yahushua, we have not known it. Understand this. So it says, he's telling them, Isaiah 47 and 5, sit thou silent and get thee in the darkness, O daughter, which is a female, which is a woman, O daughter of the Chaldeans, which are the Babylonians, which are the Ethiopians, same people, the Cushites also. For thou shalt no more be called the lady, which is a woman, of kingdoms. Remember, the 144,000 are virgins. They're not defiled with women. Keep that in mind spiritually. Verse 7, say, thou sayest, I shall be a lady forever. So that thou didst not lay these things to thy heart, neither did remember the latter end of it, the last days that we in. So now, I just want to show you that so that you can see that they're considered a woman also. So looking at the 144,000 in Revelation 14 and 4, these are they which were not defiled with women. So they're not going to be defiled with the way this system is set up, the day of evil. Like the Most High said in Proverbs 16 and 4. They're not going to fall into this evil. They're going to recognize, because they're going to be studying to show themselves approved to the Most High, to recognize what's going on in this world. That's why Mashiach Shai said, what? Watch and pray. Proverbs 16 and 4. The Most High has made all things for himself, yeah, even the wicked for the day of evil. So we know Job 9:24 says the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, when, who is he? I ain't pulled him out in a while. Look. There he is right there. There he is right there. Caesar Borgia. Thought I forgot about him, huh? Nope. There they are right there. Cover the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? See? Oh, yeah. So, but he made them for the day of evil. They do what they're supposed to do. So now, you see, I think I covered virgins pretty much to the point you should get to the understanding. So it says, then shall the kingdom of heaven be likened unto 10 virgins, which took their lamps and went forth to meet the bridegroom, right? So now, let's look at that lamp. That light, lamp creates light. So now, look at Proverbs 6:23. Proverbs 6:23, like I said, we dealing with it spiritually. Proverbs 6:23. 6:23. Proverbs, the 6th chapter. For the commandment is a lamp. See, that's a lamp. The commandment is a lamp. And the law is light. You see? Commandment is a lamp, and the law is light. And reproofs of instruction are the way of life. You got to be proof to be able to be shown what's right. It's the way of life. So the lamps represent the commandments of the Most High, the law of the Most High, the light shining bright. That's what a lamp brings forth, light. So that's what you're looking at. It says, let's go to the next scripture. Just hold Matthew 25, because we're going to be going back and forth as we're looking at it. Spiritually. So So let's continue. Salakia. Matthew 25:2. Matthew 25:2. And 5 of them were wise, and 5 were foolish. Right? So, and we have to recognize too that lamp represents a Mashiach Yahushai too. So now, 5 of these virgins were wise and 5 were foolish. Let's look at Isaiah 62:5. Isaiah 62:5. For as a young man marrieth a virgin, and a virgin means a woman that has not had sexual intercourse or a woman of marriageable age. Whereas a young man marrieth a virgin, so shall thy sons marry thee. And as the bridegroom rejoices over the bride, so shall thy power rejoice over thee. See? So you see there. A young man, he married a virgin. So shall thy sons marry thee. And as the bridegroom, who's the husband, rejoices over the bride, he can rejoice over his bride. So shall thy power rejoice over thee. The Most High gonna rejoice over us. Right? So let's look at And it's the same, you look at it the same way the Most High, you know, rejoicing over us the same way a man rejoices over his bride. Revelation 21 and 9. Revelation 21 and 9. But that's the ones that's wise. Not the one that's foolish. Look at because we dealing with it spiritually. So look at Revelation 21 and 9. It said, and there came unto me one of the seven angels which had the seven vials of destruction, full of the seven last plagues. This is what he said. And talk with me, saying, come hither, come over here. Let me show you something. I will show thee the bride and the lamb's wife. See? The bride and the lamb's wife, which represent the Israelites, 1/3, mind you, and the lamb's wife. Remember he said he likened the daughter of Zion in Jeremiah 6:2 to a comely and delicate woman, a beautiful and delicate woman. So here we are here as the bride of Mashiach Abishai's wife. The wise virgins, right? Not the foolish ones. So let's look at let's see. Can't even make that out. Let me see something. Let me make sure that I have this right. Let's go back to Matthew so we can continue on this. Matthew 25. Verse 2 said, and the five of these virgins were wise, and 5 were foolish. So let's jump to verse 3. It says, they that were foolish took their lamps and took no oil with them. They were foolish. They didn't take no oil with them. So let's look at Proverbs 21 and 20 and 21. Proverbs 20. Proverbs 20. And 21. Proverbs 21, 20, and 21. There's a treasure to be desired in all in the dwelling of the wise. You see? There's a treasure to be desired. And that treasure that we talk about is like, what's the subject matter? The kingdom of heaven. It says there's a treasure to be desired and all in the dwelling of the wise. But a foolish man spendeth it up as them. They didn't have enough oil. 5 of the virgins didn't have enough oil. He that followeth after righteousness and mercy findeth life. righteousness and honor. So if you follow after righteousness, which is what? Deuteronomy 6:25. And mercy findeth life. Just like the Most High gave us mercy and grace, we got to have mercy and grace on each other. Because think about it, the Most High giving someone mercy, and then here you come and take that mercy away from them. With your rude butt, or your forward butt that the Most High hate. But he used you for your purpose. But the Most High said you're going to have mercy on Jacob. And the mercy and grace only came to the Israelites, period. So, but what is righteousness? Deuteronomy 6:25. Deuteronomy 6:25. And it shall be our righteousness, how? If we observe to do all these commandments before the Most High our power, as he hath commanded us. That's how you be righteous. Observe to do all these commandments before the Most High as he has commanded us. That's how you be righteous. Other than that, you rolling wickedly. As the example that he's given, or the 5 virgins that didn't have any oil for their lamps. Proverbs 21:20 and 21. There's a treasure to be desired in the oil in the dwelling of the wise. They were wise, right? They had their oil for their lamp to bring forth light. And we know that light is the commandments of the Most High. Just read that in Proverbs 6:23. So there's a treasure to be desired in oil in the dwelling of the wise, but a foolish man spendeth it up. See, the foolish, the wise and the foolish, see? He's still bringing forth this understanding of what he had to go by in the law and the prophets. That's why we're here, looking at it. And the things that he brought forth after he passed and rose on the 3rd day, walked the earth for 40 days, and ascended to the right hand side of the Most High, that he gave to John on the island of Patmos. He that followeth after righteousness, what we just read, is the keeping of the Most High's commandments. And mercy is not giving someone